Hello everyone and welcome to round 7 of Grand Prix San Jose. It's team limited. It's day 1. That means it's sealed deck. And we have Ricky Sidher up against Su Ching Kuo. Kuo is on the left of your screen, the Magic World Cup champion. We are matching up. This is going to be a good one because this is your Azorius mirror, Azorius Guildgate and Islands on both sides. And the first player of the game, Nate Price, is Ricky Sidher with the new Prav Guild Mage. Let's make things fly. And for 5 mana, let's detain.
Detain is one of those mechanics that is just absolutely phenomenal if you have a nice, solid, aggressive Azorius deck. And it's entirely possible we may see 2 different styles of Azorius deck from this matchup here.
Sure.
The Guild Mages all, in general, are so incredibly powerful. I love both of the abilities on both of them. I mean, on all 5 of them. And Detain is just... We will see in a few turns exactly how powerful that mechanic is. So.
Now that is a really interesting card out of an Azorius deck. Seller of Songbirds, an unexciting 1/2 that generates a 1/1 flyer. It belongs notionally in a Selesnya Populate deck. There's Skymark Rock, by the way, for Su Ching Kuo, and that's a beating of a card.
Oh,
very, very powerful card. I'm curious as to why Seller of Songbirds made it into Sidher's deck.
A lot of this comes straight out of draft as well. If you're drafting the blue-white Flyers deck, the Skies deck, that card is an automatic include in your deck.
Wait! It's a Dramatic Rescue! Gain 2 life, back in the hand. You can carry on now.
Thanks, sir. Guess what he's going to have next turn, by the way? 5 mana required to detain said rock.
Handy.
Yep. But yeah, having the extra flyer and the ability to ultimately swarm around your opponents is something that's really, really good for the aggressive blue-white decks.
So there's Frostburn Weird to go with the Seller of Songbirds. 1 white flyer. He is going to use the 5 mana, so rock in a hard place.
And this is exactly why that card, like why Detain is so good in these aggressive decks. Like, it literally locks out their blocker for a turn. And if you really, really get find yourself in a position where you could get behind, you can start using the defensively instead. And instead, he's going to actually try to swarm around the defenses his opponent puts up.
Hover Barrier, that is a pretty good defensive card, to be fair, but nonetheless, you'd feel 1 more detain from Sidher. He's going to have Kuo in a lot of trouble here, and there's automatic detain on the board for 1.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Kuo would have preferred that to be any creature that had a power.
Yes.
Am I correct that Ricky Sidher is Sipit Hala on Magic Online? Or
yeah, because just to confuse things, you have both here. Because Sidher is Sipit Hala, and Michael Hetrick is SH Shipit Hala on Magic Online.
Yeah. Had to get the clarification. And there he goes.
Hover Barrier gets in the way. Pump my Frostburn Weird.
It's 4 points of damage right there. Drops Kuo to a terribly dangerous low 5 life.
Yeah. And it's all Sidher at the moment. 1, 2, 3 mana from Kuo. It's going to be an arrest. An oldie but goodie.
Arrested development. And this is why
the developments all happen. I mean, Sidher's really... You feel it's almost like playing against a burn deck.
Oh, yeah.
Because you feel like you're the burn spell, which in this case has the word detain on it.
Yeah. This is definitely one of the situations, by the way, where you're going to see the importance of the fact that Caller of Songbirds, or Seller of Songbirds, creates that 1/1 token, so you're effectively getting 2 power over the course of 2 cards.
Sure.
Because having that extra creature is something that, well, if it weren't for the fact that he had the rock.
Oh, hello. End of turn. Here is my very sexy, that'll be a foil, the Predator, the 3/4 Skyline Predator. Have I got that name right, or am I imagining that one?
No, that is correct. It's unfortunately, he skipped a beat.
Yeah.
Syncopated there. Thought you'd like that.
Very good. He's good, boys and girls. Would you want him as a doctor? I don't know.
I sure don't.
In comes the Weird. In comes Seller of Songbirds. Hover Barrier gets in the way. Another point comes through from the Seller of Songbirds. And now, boom, 7 mana. That
oh my goodness.
Did a lot of lifting at the pre-release, because that is your Archon of the Triumvirate. If that gets to attack, it's curtains, good night Charlie, and bye-bye game 1 for Su Ching Kuo.
It was one of
We
those.
will take you to one of the other matches at the end of this game. We'll head across town, see what else is going on.
That was the card of all of the marquee cards for the guilds that
Boosters?
everyone virtually agreed was unbeatable. Like, was more unbeatable than any of the other ones were, which I disagreed with because I was more happy about just playing a 4/4 hasting flyer for my 5.
You like the Hypersonic Dragon?
I did, yeah.
I felt the one that most fit the deck was actually the Carnival Hellsteed, because when Rakdos ran out of energy, if you put a 10-man crasher in your deck, and the fact that you had therefore 2 6-drops with haste that were fat men basically broke the camel's back more often than not.
Yeah.
But yeah, Archon's obviously a fantastically powerful limited card. So Knightly Valor onto the rock, so we're going to see a 2/2 Vigilant Knight come into play. Oh, it's a soldier, isn't it, that appears
It is.
off the Valor? Pretty sure that's right. In moments, we'll see Su Qingguo actually deliver something to the board.
Looks like a knight token to me.
It is a knight, yeah.
I mean, it is knightly valor, not soldierly valor.
Oh, will you behave?
But
You're going to tell me that that's like a flavor thing?
I have no idea.
Knightly Valor making knights?
I don't understand why they made that decision at all. That's just weird to me.
Frostburn.
But that 5 power is good enough to kill this Archon if it ever got a chance to not be detained.
Yeah. So there's 3 mana open for Quo. Looks like he's it's like, I'm going to come in, am I? No, oh, no.
Yeah, I don't.
That kind of body language often happens when you're at 4 life facing down something like an Archon. It's like, I could, if I do, but, wait, and then there's, ooh. I'll come in, finally.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it.
Which is also the body language you get when you're on the receiving end
Yeah,
of one of its attacks. You're like, yeah,
exactly.
sure, whatever. Done.
Okie dokie.
And the old shrug go from Quo. Well, the judge's familiar is, shall we say, not exactly up to the task of long-term stopping of the Archon, but I mean, it buys him another turn. Like, gives an opportunity to possibly find, I don't know, a verdict, kill everything off. Who knows what he could possibly have hiding in the depths of his deck. What I do know is he currently has 2 creatures that are incapable of attacking this turn. Ooh, there we go.
Wielder of the Void.
He uses the Void pretty well too, I'd say.
A card that you just cannot imagine being good till you play with him. There's no way in the world a 1/4 for 5 that quote just bounces a thing is good until you play in this format and you see all the things that it just flat out kills,
Yeah.
and what a tempo beating a single bounce effect is.
Yep.
Void Wield is really good.
Yep. I completely agree. I mean, playing a lot of that comes from playing in the cube, like where like I just want to snap up like Fencer, Manowar, and stuff. I love bounce effects. I think they're fantastic. It's also really good in the blue-white deck where you get
There's
to reuse
another one.
detain guys. Oh, man.
Wow, so the rock went go away Vassal Soul, and Void it says go away Archon.
And he's attacking for 5 in the meantime too.
Sidher's down to 9, and you well, goodness me, this has been a turnaround. But has it been enough? Because you still see there, bottom of your screen on the right, 5 cards still for Sidher. Quo has done an awful lot of doing stuff, and we often talk about the words on a magic card disappearing once they're done.
Yeah.
Those Void Wielders are currently 1/4s. Period. That Archon, on the other hand, still has a lot of text on it. Quo lays a land, and get in! It's Angel of Serenity from Quo! Good morning! Oh, hello.
Can I interest you in an Archon, perhaps?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll take all of your board. Then I'll beat you to Kingdom Come. goodness me, Su-Ching Kuo, are you good or what?
He's got a Void Wielder in his own hand, though. Wait, does he?
Yeah,
Can't
but
be
so
what?
what? Do you know where? But they all go back to hand. They don't come back to play. They all come back to the owner's hands. These will not reappear on the battlefield in some magical way. This does nothing.
That is wow.
They made it mythic and 7 mana with 900 white mana in the cost for a reason.
Vomit.
Yes. Yeah. The route for those things back to the battlefield takes till 3 weeks on Tuesday, or round 13, whichever comes first.
I'm gonna say Tuesday.
Yeah.
Wow. Now we are back to Sidher having the body language of someone who's trying to figure out what the heck just happened. Wow. Yep. All right. That'll do it.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the magical world of Su-Ching Kuo, World Magic Cup champion, Players Championship competitor, and quite good at Magic even though he's not Japanese and you don't know him.
Yeah. How about 7-drop, 8-drop, dead?
How about we go somewhere else, Rashad Miller? They're all shuffling, so we could. How about we go and see Michael Hetrick next door? He's 1-0 up right now, up against the number 2 Chinese Taipei seed, you might say, Huang. So Huang will be on the left of your screens. Hetrick will be on your right.
From Sip It Holla to Ship It Holla.
Yep.
And so we see Huang there thumbing through a Rakdos deck, it appears.
So what is the scenario where Rakdos loses quickly? Pi, by the way, is 1 up over Shenhar, so it's 2-1 to the Chinese Taipei team right now.
Loses quickly?
Yeah, so I mean, if you not that we've necessarily had a quick game in our, but what kind of things does Rakdos not like to be up against?
Golgari. Golgari is the worst matchup for Rakdos because it's...
Now that's interesting. Why?
Golgari is generally, it's more of a mid-range deck. Like, this is something we mentioned a few times when we see those matchups. Because actually, I think this might be the matchup we've seen most frequently on camera.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just after like turn 4, Golgari's decks their creatures get so much better than the Rakdos decks. And if the Rakdos deck doesn't have an opportunity to finish the game, if they can't find the reach for that extra few points of damage, it's very, very frequently gone to the Golgari deck to finish things off. I mean, it just grinds them out.
Okay, I certainly get that last bit, but I tend to think of Golgari as like their turn 3 is Sewer Shambler, their turn 4 is admittedly a Death Touch, but is a 2-2 Sluiceway Scorpion or maybe a 2-2 Golgari Decoy. And Rakdos is going, here's my 2-1, here's my 2-2, here's my 2-1 Haste, here's my 3-2, here's my 3-4, here's my 5-4 Trampler of the Bloodfray Giant's only uncommon. And then at 5 and 6, it has Spawn of Rixmardy as a 5-3 or a 6-4 with Unleash. I think it takes quite a long time before Golgari actually gets to measure up to the Rakdos deck. So I'm quite curious to see what Hetrick's playing that will in fact have taken that first game against Huang. Hopefully we're not far away from finding out. Maybe actually, just looking there, a little glimpse of some of the cards, we may be in for a Rakdos Mirror.
That was what I was going to say when you asked what it could cause a Rakdos deck to lose quickly. Another Rakdos deck.
And we begin with Rakdos Guildgate on both sides. His turn 2, it is the Gorehouse Chainwalker, the absolutely archetypical turn 2 play. It's 3-2, it cannot block.
Unleashed, as they say. I want him to go Mana or Mountain Chainwalker so bad right here. Aww. Instead, we are going to play. Is that the 1-2 Death Touch guy?
Is that the Thrill Kill?
Yeah,
Thrill Kill Assassin?
Yeah, it is.
Which is leashed.
It is. Unleashed.
Oh god, no. Don't do that.
Just
so we're going to have a trade there. And now we see the Undead Leveler.
Okay,
Reveler.
so
I keep calling it Leveler because it gets the counter and I think of it as leveling up when it appears.
Yeah.
Sorry, boys and girls. Reveler. I'll get them eventually, don't worry.
It's okay. I mean, you're a step ahead of me. I've just been calling things by what they do and or the pictures.
It's the 3/4 for 3 that's black.
I remember his name. Grim Roustabout. That's another one whose name I remember. Thank you very much.
Very good. That's a 1/1, but it's a 2/2 and regenerate if you decide to unleash it. The regenerate happens either way. And the thing is here, because it is this mirror, Hetrick is all about trading 1 for 1, and eventually he has an extra card, because the Rakdos decks are not great at the straight up 2 for 1s. Right. So he is perfectly happy saying, as long as the life total is 20 each, I will have 1 card left when you have none because I went second.
But at the same time, being on the draw, it puts you at a natural disadvantage in this matchup because of the fact that your opponent gets to unleash their creatures, and so you have to make the decision as to whether you want to be the turn behind with your unleashed guys.
But you do. I think the plot here for Hetrick is to be that guy who says, "No, I am leashed."
Ooh.
But then you get Swamp Walk, which is quite good in the mirror. Who knew?
Oh yeah. Ironic, because you're right about exactly what Hetrick is going to ultimately be wanting to do, like playing his leashed guys as opposed to the unleashed version. Dead Revelers is the guy who breaks that open, because he's like one of the few unleashed guys that actually has a toughness larger than his power. Puts him out of the range. Giving him 4 toughness makes it really hard for any of the other Rakdos guys to just trade favorably with him, or trade even reasonably with him.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, it's unfair. That's
yeah.
And then you have a Swamp Walker. That. Curious as to whether that guy was in the main deck, or whether he came out of the board. I would imagine he's still a 2/1 for. Is he a 2/1 or a 2/2 for 3? Still a reasonable creature nonetheless. Here come the beats. Hetrick has spent his turn. I mean, he played the Roustabouts unleashed. I'm sorry, leashed for a reason. Decides to take it. Go ahead and use the opportunity to block. Well, let's see. Huang has 5 mana. Opts to just pass the turn. No more contributions to the board for him. Pretty sure that if I just saw that correctly, that was a Lava Crew that Hetrick just drew, which is one of those cards. It's a very unique card to have in this Rakdos deck, because it gives it that late game reach. Like, gives you a way in this matchup also to slow your opposing Rakdos creatures down. Like, it's capable, fully capable of blocking the Dead Revelers now. We just talked about needing to find a way to actually defend against that guy, and now we've got one that actually provides him with a clock as well.
I love Lava Crew. Absolutely love it. Has the magic number on it, which is 4 for the toughness.
Oh yeah,
it's great.
I've been super impressed with that card.
I'm really impressed with how many deceptive cards there are in the set.
Oh.
That you feel like you can evaluate very quickly, and you're just so wrong about them.
Yep, that is.
Lava Crew, Void Wielder, a couple of very prime cases in point.
Mm-hmm.
So Huang will send the guys, because that's kind of what he does. 3/4.
To block or not to block? That is the question.
Yep, gonna get in the way, take 2.
Well, what does he want to use his 2 mana for then? Or does he just not want to lose his Roustabout? It's a little more dangerous to block with the Lava Crew than it is to block with the Regenerator.
Yeah. I don't know what he does with 2 remaining mana. Let's see.
Players for booster drafts or other 8-player events, we are closing registration for booster drafts and 8-player events.
What you gonna do?
8-player events at
with all that junk inside your hand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play this land, play this land, play this land.
I am going to Lava Crew you. And that's the Rage Mutt.
I like that guy.
3/3 lifelink haste.
Yep.
For 5 mana.
Good in this matchup.
Yeah. So Hetrick's going to send it despite being 13-19 behind. Oh, and here we go with Annihilating Fire. Presumably the Rage Mutt bites the dust. Yes, so that aggressive plan from Hetrick has not really worked.
We just say that's a hot dog?
I would never say something like that. And that, I think all the viewers know is a lie.
Yeah.
So, Huang at 18, Hetrick at 13. He did not get the tempo burst out of the Rage Mutt, though he did at least get rid of Annihilating Fire. Sewer Shambler will resume its shambolic or shambolic route into Hetrick's life total, which is now down to 11.
This is
Huang, just 2 cards in hand.
Spasm. Street Spasm.
It is Street Spasm,
Just
indeed.
casting it for enough to finish off that guy.
So before it dies, obviously, correct answer, deal you 1.
Kill your team.
But the board is clear, so Huang really advantaged at the moment. The Hetrick play of the Rage Mutt, nothing wrong with it, but the Annihilating Fire meant that there was no advantageous shift in the life totals. And Huang now very much favoured here in game 2, as he needs to be, because he's 2 down. Really unleashed.
Well, I mean, at this point,
Okay.
what good is a 2/3? Or it's just a chunk blocker, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, and get out of
Spree.
here.
2 again into single figures.
Both players are running low on cards in hand here. We've reached the end of our resource ropes.
And that is a Blood-Fray Giant. That will be unleashed.
Oh,
that is
hi.
a 5/4 trample. And that is a big thing at this part of the game.
Yeah, but he can't block, so I don't know how good he is right here on this exact, very specific combat step.
You do know that there are people at home who think you may mean that.
I don't.
There are people at home who think you may mean that.
I don't know about that.
There are. I've met some of them.
They've been listening to me for a few rounds now. I'm pretty sure
Okay,
they know that
fine.
I don't have any idea
All
what
right,
I'm talking about.
Fine. I believe you then. Bloodfray and Sewer Shambler up against the Undead Reveler. Got it that time. Don't forget, if limited and RTR is your thing, you can get 6 rounds of live draft action at Pro Tour Return to Ravnica next week. Cast of thousands as usual, the best and the brightest. And now, Traitorous Instinct, I'll steal that, and that will be game. Traitorous Instinct wins games. This just in. So that is 1-1. Pi is 1-0 up over Shenhar. Let's see if we can get across to Pi against Shenhar. Quo is 1-0 up over Sidher. Huang and Hetrick are at 1-1. And now, you see where all those green and white cards go. And you can see where all the Centaur tokens are going. Because right now, we have a Brush Strider, we have a pair of eyes, presumably eyes in the skies, 1-1 birds. We have 2 Centaurs, and we have what looks like an as yet uncracked, as it were, Centaur Herald. That is on the left of your screen, and that is Mr. Pi from Team Chinese Taipei, as it were. And on the right of your screen, in the blackborder.com shirt, is Shenhar, as I say, just 18 years old, with 2 Grand Prix titles. Interesting. He has just made Mana Bloom. That is not a card I necessarily expected to see in many decks this weekend, and not just because it's rare. You see, he's also got a ton of Centaurs. He's going to add Drudge Beetle to his team. And is that a Deadbridge Goliath sitting there? Top of the screen? What's that card?
Top of the screen?
Any offers?
No, that's that is the lizard monitor.
Oh, the Corrosive Monitor, the
Yeah.
3/3 for Trample for 4.
Yeah.
It's a funny one, that having Trample.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it makes perfect sense in Golgari because eventually it comes back as a 6/6 or a 5/5 or whatever, and then you expect it to be a 5. But a 3/3 Trampler is just counterintuitive. It's a bit of a strange one.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people forget that it trampled and, you know, stick an Eyes in the Skies token in front of it at the pre-release and go, yeah, sure, take 2.
Yeah. Wait. Oh.
I take 2? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are always my favorite matches to come to after the mid-game because there's just 17 creatures on the table.
And we've kind of already got there. We didn't have to fast forward through all those turns.
Yeah, taking an inventory of what exists currently is always fantastic.
Looks like there might be a Golgari decoy in hand for Shenhar. That's the kind of thing against green-white that can be a little bit tasty.
Yeah.
Because everything would have to block. It's not down yet, that's just in his hand.
With the
You
creatures
can,
he's got in play, that is a very dangerous card.
I'm trying to think what green-white does about something like a Golgari decoy. There's no obvious bounce floating around. Obviously, you've got 6 mana open, you can Trostani's Judgment, just like the Trostani Judgment that is currently in the graveyard for Pi. Avenging Arrow is for something that's already dealt damage that turn.
At least had game 1.
So Su Qingguo has defeated Ricky Sidher, so now the Chinese Taipei team are in the box seat. They've won one match. They are 1-0 up here in Pi against Shenhar, although now here is Golgari Decoy, so maybe we might be heading for 1-1, we'll see. And Huang and Hetrick are at 1-1, playing the decider.
I can't beat that angle.
Draft number 40.
Alright.
Please report to the judges until the
And
assignment
here comes some
station.
birds. Hey, got some birds
Draft
for you.
number 40 to the site event station.
And Shenhar's down to 5. Is he going to have lethal on the board when he attacks with his decoy?
3, 6, 9,
3,
12.
10, 13, 16, 9. He has like, I think he has 19.
It doesn't look to
19?
me. Yeah, are those creatures on the
It's like
left-hand
2,
side?
2, 2. And the Corrosive Monitor, that's 3, 5, 7, 9, but the decoy gets blocked.
Yeah.
So 3, 5, 7. And then 4 lots of 3.
Yep.
10, 13, 16, 19.
Yep.
Pi's at 20.
And he also doesn't have any. Doesn't look like he's got any more scavenge cards in the graveyard. It's kind of hard to tell, but.
Arabian Ramo. Nicholas Garza. Please report to the site station.
Well, let's see. What do we have here? Maybe he's got a pump spell. Oh no, it looks like just.
But he needs all
what's in a
5 mana to act. I don't know. That one?
Justicia.
Double detain. 1 card in hand. It's a land.
So he just needs to survive one more turn, and now he is lethal.
Yeah, because now he has 21.
Yep. Don't you feel kind of oh, well,
Not happening.
didn't we talk about this exact interaction here?
We may have mentioned a Trostani's Judgment.
I mean,
Boy, do we feel proud of ourselves.
Yeah.
For mentioning an actual common removal spell with its correct name and what it does.
Yeah.
Go team!
So many birds. You always got to feel like you're a little bit sad when you use your guy who detains 2 creatures to detain 2 1/1 flying bird tokens.
Brackets that are going to kill you shortly.
Details. Minor details.
Okie doke. Yeah. We do see things a little differently, it turns out. But I do appreciate what you mean, especially because of I think the double white in the Justicia, although it makes perfect sense in terms of the structure of the game,
Yeah.
it feels a little miserable when even more when you're just getting a 2/2 for 4,
Yeah.
and it was double, and all you're doing is then what you said with the 2.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, in every matchup but this, for the most part, like, the fact that it hits 2, it's like, it is like a chaos. Like, a lot of times it is used to end a game. Oh, man. See the Pi, in addition to all of his tokens, has got reverse giraffe down there.
So in we come. Triple Centaur, double bird, the Vigilant Brush Strider. This board state is going to clean up and in a hurry.
No joke.
You've got a 3/3 Corrosive Monitor, 2 Drudge Beetles, the Azorius Justicia, a collection of Centaur tokens. Shenhar must win this game to keep the match alive. Because Quo, you see at the bottom of your screen, is already a 2-0 victor over Sidher. Pi just checks Mana Bloom. There's 1 counter left on that. That potentially makes a difference because that is the 6th mana that will allow scavenge off a Drudge Beetle, which may become relevant at some point. Looks like the Brush Strider is going to exchange with a Drudge Beetle.
I mean, unless Shenhar finds a way to deal with those flyers, like nothing matters with Pi still at 20 life.
Sure.
Yeah. It's another one of those situations where I would love to have a Silk Lash Spider if I were him. That's not the right current Magic set.
No. What you want, I mean, the actual, like, the perfect thing is 2 cards,
Okay.
7 mana,
Yeah.
attack with the 4 tokens.
Yeah.
You go Eyes in the Skies,
Yeah.
and then you go common bond, as it were. So you put the +1/+1 counter on your 2, so
Yeah.
you block 2 of them, kill them both. You've got 2/2/2 flyers left.
Yeah. That would
That's
certainly.
that's a very nice way of dealing with a collection of 1/1s.
Yeah. I would approve of that method. I endorse this message.
Stop it. We don't do politics on this show.
I'm not doing politics. I'm campaigning for birds.
Campaigning for populate.
Campaigning for populate. It's the populate decision. The populate vote?
Yeah. Did you win like 42.9% of the populate vote?
Exactly.
Okie doke.
And it looks like Hetrick has given his team an even up in the match count. So this match really, really, Shenhar has to pull it together if his team will want to actually take this down.
So how many of these are left seems to be the discussion here. Got one of these, you've got 2 of these, those are dead, that's dead, those are still alive, I'm taking some. There's a lot of pointing.
Yeah. I guarantee you creatures are dying.
Yeah, like
Others
I said,
are living.
it's a much clearer board state than it used to be.
With only 8 creatures.
Yeah. And now 9. Here's the Centaur Healer. I'll go to 23 like that matters right now.
Yeah.
If that is growing the ranks.
That's a growing the ranks for each of them in play right now then.
Yeah. Goodness me.
And a Centaur healer, because 20 life isn't enough. He's at a dangerously low 20 life.
I would love to know what body that grey-jacketed and bewatched arm is attached to. Is that like one of Pi's teammates?
Was that switching quos?
Or is that like a judge coming, or was that Quo?
Yeah, I think that might be Quo.
I mean, Quo has excellent English skills.
Yeah.
So it's certainly possible that he's contributing there. As you see, just 2 land. You can put them in, and he's going to scoop them up, and it is game, set, and match. Even though Hetrick just won his round to even it up, Pi defeats Shenhar 2-0, and that is the end of round 7 here at Grand Prix San Jose.